Hi there. So this is Kerbal Space Program. This is one of my favorite games. It's just essentially a space exploration game. Offers educational benefits, in my opinion, of just kind of introducing space flight and the physics that come with it. Although these aren't perfect physics, they do seem to be fairly, at least, well made. Also, it's kind of a strategy based. Throughout the game, you have to budget different upgrades, whether you want to go with engines or more fuel, aerodynamics, landing equipment, energy, all sorts of different stuff. I'm going to start off with just a basic training module here to kind of show how the game works. We're just going to do an orbiting session. And it'll kind of break down some of the basics here for it. So to use this game, computer uses Q and E to rotate around like this. That's E, Q. W and S affect pitch. A and D, yaw. Also has an SAS system, which allows the computer to control it. Up here in the top left, we have Gene Kerman, who is walking us through our tutorial here. So what we're going to do here is get our ship into orbit around Kerbin, or Earth. So we'll get started here. We'll go into map view by hitting the M key. I guess we're already in orbit here. So to close that, we'll hit M again. Alright, no, probably shut that off, because what he's going to do is mess with us a little bit, and we'll hit T to stop it from rotating. Here are the ways of using the gimbal, which is the red and blue little ball down here at the bottom. Kind of breaks down what each symbol on the gimbal means. The one I'm currently lining up with here at the bottom will make our orbit bigger. On the opposite side will be this one that's got the X through the middle. That makes it smaller. The vectors here kind of just change the orbital position, and the triangles will tilt the axis of our orbit here. Alright, so what he wants us to do is we're going to raise our apoapsis, which will be down here at the bottom. That's our furthest point. And by doing that, we're going to start at the periapsis here and accelerate, again using the gimbal. So you can do a nice little time warp, which is a feature this game has that can really save some time, because it's got some very long duration flights possible. Alright, now once we get back here, or it says to do it now. Okay, so we will bring this over here, and we're going to raise this by using Z to activate our engine and full throttle. Here we're going to just raise our altitude here of our apoapsis up to 800,000 meters. And we'll cut our engines. Now what they're going to want us to do is we're going to circularize our orbit by raising the periapsis over here. By doing that, we'll start at the furthest point here, and what you do on one side of the orbit affects the other side of the orbit. So by launching or activating the engines here at the furthest point, it'll raise the nearest point in an attempt to make it circular. Just keep an eye on that periapsis number here. We're just around the 300,000s now, so we'll get that up to 800,000 and cut the engines. Now you'll see, like I said, it affects the opposite side, so because I fired my engines a little early, my periapsis and apoapsis rotated around. So what I'll do, I'll just time warp up here a little bit. Even shorter cut. And once I get to the apoapsis, rather than firing as early as I did, I'll fire again, and we're close to where we need to be. So now we're going to change the inclination. We're going to go to the normal vector, which is just the normal triangle here. This one right here. And change. I'm going to go to a 10-degree inclination here, starting at 0, so it'll take a little bit, but you'll see our orbit is changing. By right-clicking the mouse, we can spin around and take a look at different angles here. Alright, so now we've got an angled orbit. And now we'll lower our orbit so that on return missions where the spacecraft is returning to Earth, you've got to be able to lower your orbit in order to get back into the atmosphere. So we'll warp up here. Again, just trying to get to the furthest point where you're moving the slowest. Bring this down to 20,000 meters. So we'll keep an eye on our fuel usage here. The nice thing is you can kind of do everything from both sides of the platform here, whether in the map mode or looking at the ship. Alright, under 20,000 means we can re-enter the atmosphere. And that is the end of the mission, or the tutorial. We'll just bring the ship down to Earth here. And you'll see on the left here, we've got 3 engines. This is for our decoupler, and then the parachute. Spacebar is how you activate different staging or go between stages. So I'll move us a little bit closer to Earth here. Alright, I am going to detach, and I see the tutorial does not give us a heat shield on our ship, so we'll see if we're able to even land coming back into the atmosphere, but it'll be worth a shot. So now when we're re-entering here, it's important to keep the ship facing retrograde so that the wide part of the base is catching the atmosphere and slowing us down. But I'll try and time warp to save us a little time here as well. Unfortunately, time warp likes to rotate the ship on the gimbal, so you can't do it the whole way down. Here we go. Just come up on re-entry. And you see our little astronauts down here. If we want, we can hit IVA and we can look through the spaceship. If we click on somebody else and actually look out the window, you'll see the flames and everything from the re-entry. And you can actually fly it from here using the gimbal. It's right in the middle of the screen here. It's going to be interesting. This is a long re-entry. No heat shield, so I don't know if we'll make it, but we got our surface speed down here at about 2,200 meters per second. Time acceleration, and looks like we should be good. We're coming out of the atmosphere and slowing down pretty good. Once we get under about 250 meters per second here, we can activate our parachutes. And we'll coast all the way to the ground just like that. That is Kerbal Space Program. Basics.